to this event. Today we are going to talk about beyond your app's program.
Yeah.
Right. So majority of our day and work is occupied with making our app more stable. Like we work on authentication flow, making our app, like we are trying to reduce crash analytics so people are able to have a smooth experience, and we are working on UI and everything. But what happens once your user exits the app? How are you reminding them about your app once they go out of it? Is there any active recall where they think, yes, I can use this app? So yeah, today's app is about making your apps more discoverable when it's in background. We will be talking about Apple's extension that are provided, which you can leverage to show your app to your users at the right time, at the right spot. It could be at search bar, home page, a lot of places. We'll discuss about that today.
This. One second. Sure.
Alright, so before starting, quick introduction. Yeah, so I'm currently working at Upstocks as a software developer, and I'm quite interested in Swift and its technologies. So I like to share it, and today is one of that presentation where I'm sharing the multiple things I've worked on. So let's get started with discovering one of the most used we would have tried, that is widgets, which is basically glanceable data on your home page, like where you can see just what's needed about a certain app. And it comes in all shapes and sizes, and it can be on home page or on lock screen. Now there are also interactive widgets, where suppose if you have a to-do list and you want to check it off without actually opening the app, you can just add that widget on your home page and do that. So if you have an app with functionalities which are something glanceable to the user, it doesn't have to be something which is up to date. It's just glanceable. Like this is just a part of estate you're giving for them to check it out during the part of the day. So suppose I'll tell you examples where it cannot be used, but right now, like suppose there are places where you want to easily redirect your users to and keep reminding them throughout the day. This is where widgets can help. Not only on home page, they're on lock screen too, which they're small widgets on lock screen though, because most of the estate is occupied by other elements. The interactive widgets now, where you can also just do like a one-click option you can share with them right on home screen, so they can have this active recall that I want to use this app. And another interesting widget there is standby widgets. These appear when your phone is charging, it's locked, and it's in a horizontal display. And when it has this cool setup, you can also show your widget there. Look at here, like most of the things we use, the weather app, the temperature, like all these are widgets here. So if your app also provides a widget, people can constantly glance at it. But if you have apps where you rely on real-time data, suppose for example Upstocks, where we have to show the latest data to the user about certain stocks, at that place we cannot use it because, well, widgets are supposed to be refreshed every 5 minutes. So you cannot just keep refreshing it every second and show the detailed data. So you can see what data you want to show, and based on that you can decide whether you want to use widgets or not. Next one is live activities. I think we all would have used it at some point when we are ordering something, and it was introduced recently, like as in like 4 or 5 years ago. This was one of those activities which are used for time-sensitive events. Now, if you have an order placement or maybe a sports event going on which you want to constantly update your user about, or something which you want to your user to be in loop with it without opening the app. Suppose you have a background upload going on, and without opening the app, you want to show the user, yeah, this is the progress of it. Something which is time sensitive also, you have to keep that in mind. It couldn't be like for more than few hours. That's where you can leverage live activities. I remember when we were working at Blinkit, and the whole claim was you can deliver everything from 8 to 10 minutes. This is where we added live activity, where we just showed different states that, oh, your order is placed, now it's on the way. And this significantly reduced the visits on the order the tracking page. So you can see how it basically reduces your user anxiety when it comes to certain time-sensitive events, even when sports is going on. And you can just have a live widget where you can show the live score. Or if you're going on a run, like your Nike Run Plus app, you can, on your homepage live activity, you can see what are the stats of that user. One of the most interesting design of live widgets I've seen is the Uber one, as you can see there. So once your driver arrives, you see OTP on top right. So before live activity, so if you're an Android user, you would have to open the app and see, oh, what's the OTP? So there's this fiction, Here with this, even if you have an Apple Watch, you can access the live activity and you can say, yeah, this is the OTP. So you're making your user's life very easy with showing just what is needed on the live activity. So it also comes down to design and you deciding what is important for your user to see at a certain point. Another extension of that is dynamic island live activity. So for newer iPhones, you can just add live activity attributes and then they will be able to see like this cool setup on the dynamic island, and it also minimizes, so where you can just display whatever you want to do with just an icon or text. Like here it just says, oh, the flight is 55 minutes away. So you are reducing that resistance of opening the app and what the status of the flight is. This is another idea of where you can use the power of both design, development and OS to show what's right for your user. Another example which you use daily is when your AirPods get connected and it shows you what battery it is. Without even thinking, it just comes naturally to us now that, yeah, this will show the battery. You can have it for your app too with just an extension of live activity. That's about dynamic island. Another pretty interesting one, if your app is dealing with photos or files, is share extension. So suppose I have a photo and I decide to share it. On the share sheet, I can see a bunch of options. You can also add your option in one of that with some settings in info plist and other configuration. And from there, you can directly perform an action. Here the example is Google Maps. I shared an image and it's directly showing, yeah, do you want to post it on Google Maps? Maybe I didn't even think of using Google Maps, but after seeing this, I'm like, all right, let me post this review on Google Maps. So if your app is dealing, maybe it could be a photo editing app and you want to show, oh, maybe they can decide this could be shared too, or something with file sharing or file editing. So this is majorly for media-based apps where you can add like a share extension, which can make your user's life easy, or it can also make them think, yeah, maybe I can use this certain app for performing this action. Most of our apps nowadays will have deep links. I mean, now that has become a new norm, making deep links for notification campaigns, for sharing it on social media, or even when you forward certain pages of your app to someone. Now deep links, like every company would have this one part where, yeah, people are working on deep links and campaign support. If you already have support of deep link, and if your app is available on multiple platforms, then you can also add support of hands-off. So have you all ever experienced where you are using a certain app on Mac and then when you open iPhone, you would see, yeah, this certain app is opened on MacBook Air. So that is just seamlessly, it is integrating with Apple's ecosystem. And if your app is on multiple platforms, you can also add support of hands-off, where you can also leverage power of universal links and then add the same support for those multiple apps there. Another one which is a very small addition but can go a long way is quick actions. Before that, how many of you all have tried the glass effect? Other people have not upgraded at all. Seems like the reviews are, some of them are so bad that it's not good at accessibility and stuff that some of them are choosing not to upgrade. So yes, about quick actions, whenever you long press an app, you will be able to see some actions which you can perform, and your user is most likely to see this when rearranging apps or deleting it. So this is the time where you can give the most accessible options where they can also access those pages right from here. This is just a one file addition, but it can give you a great uh, access to your app from homepage. A very interesting one on social media I've seen is the Rapido one. Whenever you try to delete, it's like, don't remove our app. Like the app is being needed to you. It says, give us a second chance, and then it will take you to a form. So this is also a good way to get your users' attention when they're about to delete or like rearrange your app. And along with that, you can see the way they have designed it. They have just added what's needed, like book a ride, what their core functionality is. So that's like one file addition which can go a long way. Another one which is less used and you might not have heard of it is app clips. It's basically a small lightweight part of your app which you can let your users utilize even without downloading it. And it's basically you exposing certain parts of your app, just certain feature, like if you have your restaurant app and you just want to give an option to show the catalog to the users, you can just expose that part and make an app clip, and they will be able to just use that feature without downloading the whole app. And they can later decide, do I want to use this app? Then they'll end up using it. Otherwise, they can just use that without downloading, and you can also share what your main functionality of your app is. The one reason you might not have heard a lot about this is most of our apps are full-fledged apps which do a lot of things, and rather than exposing just one part, it's better that we have our whole app together, and which gives an entire experience to a user. So that is one reason you would have heard less about app clips. But if you just want to give that one budget nudging point to your users, yeah, just try this one feature. If you like it, then you can download it. Then you can try app clips. Another one is shortcuts. The best, and I kept for the last. Even as a user and a developer, this app is so helpful. You can automate so many things. You can perform a bunch of actions which are repetitive. And you can also, just for the example here, it is taking location of travel time and it is sending that to messages. It's also performing these multiple actions without even opening either of these apps. So it basically saves a lot of time, and you can perform repetitive actions, and if your app supports it, and if most of your users are power users of shortcuts or they use it often, it will be helpful. But even if they are not, this will show up at a lot of places. Shortcuts can also be automated, like when you go to a certain place or when like certain alarms go off. This is just an example of what I use. But like when in morning certain alarm goes off, you can open bunch of apps, or you can play a certain playlist. You can automate all that even when you go to a location. That what it takes, it can take input, it can also like based on the input it can perform multiple actions. It can also like call an API without you even opening any browser, and it can take data from that API and use it for other actions. So I mean the possibilities here are endless. And once you have shortcuts, it's not just you're limited to it. You can open your doors to even this search bar. Now if you search for like book, this is based on app intent, so once you make an app intent, it can directly extend to other parts. So once now I search books or voice memos, just because I made a shortcut, now it's available to my user right here. And even if they now search record, or if they search open current, this shortcut will show up. So you are not just adding your visibility on shortcuts app, but you're also adding it throughout the entire search ecosystem. And it's not just limited to that, it's also shortcuts, it's also widgets where it will show up. Maybe there are Siri suggestions. If your app has app intent and widgets both, it will show up on your smart stack, which is on the search page. There is Siri, so now when you give a certain command to Siri, it will perform that action in the app without even opening it. There is search spotlight, of course. Control center, now that control center also can have shortcut addition, you can also add your automation there. Even action button for new iPhones and Apple Pencil squeezes. You can see the possibility are endless just once after you make some bunch of shortcuts. Fun fact, this was actually a third-party app which was made by someone, and then Apple later acquired it, and the founder of that company was an EM at Apple, and then they built this shortcuts app together. So this is your sign to build whatever your app or OS feature you want to have. Maybe you can get acquired by Apple later. So without further ado, let's start recording, or start making one small intent maybe. For this sample, we will be using this simple app. It's pretty simple. You can start a focus, you can end focus, and you can just see how much time you have focused today. Nothing complex. The core functionality is just focus time. And once I made the main functionality, all I had to do was import app intents, and then I will say, and I declared my intent struct and I confirmed it to app intent. And once that is done, the part of the protocol is title and description. This is the same title and description which will show up on the search ecosystem and even on Siri. So it should be something which is easily speakable. So here my name of the intent is start focus session. So I think that is quite accessible by Siri or search. And once that is done, you can perform. And this here, so I perform whatever it was needed. Also keep in mind, if your functions are async, you would need to do the await. Otherwise, it will directly return and it will give a success callback without actually performing it. So here I performed that action and then I just resulted in a dialog. But just with this, it won't show some kind of pop-up where it says, oh, the session has started. For that, you need to add this provides dialog intent. And this will basically give a whole dialog saying, oh, this has, it will give a visual confirmation to your user with your app icon that, yeah, this has happened. Once I made these three simple intents, now you can see how my app Pomodoro has start focus, end focus, and this is the today's focus time. And not only this, just with this 3 intent addition, which is basically 3 structs, I am able to see my app on the search page. Now I search Pomodoro and I can see, I can start a session here, I can end it, I can see today's focus, and people are able to do that without even opening the app. So it's basically you're making your user's life easy. And it's just not limited to performing an action. You can also provide redirection to an app. You can also perform create, update, and delete operations inside your app, even without opening it. So if your app is dealing with entities where you want to create a database of stuff, could be a to-do list. Suppose it has a to-do list app and you want to update and remove it without opening it. So you can directly do it from here. And these are just static shortcuts. You can also create dynamic number of shortcuts based on certain categories or certain configurations of your user. Also, once I create this, I would also need to do app shortcut provider. What it will do is, it will ask me for a bunch of shortcuts that I made. I would need to give phrases. These are the phrases that Siri will use. So once I start speaking, even if I don't mention the app name, and if I say start focus now, it will start the app's focus. So you're becoming accessible to your user through Siri, also through search, and it also shows up in Smart Stack. There's another interesting topic of Siri donation. So if you start donating these intents to the OS, every time that if person starts a focus and I donate the intent, it will show up on the user's search page or Siri suggestion at the certain time of the day. If I start focus 9 in the morning every day and I start donating this intent, maybe after 3rd, 4th day, OS will start recommending it. So you are becoming more accessible and visible to your user even without them using your app. And that is the power of Apple's extension. And here just with those 3 intents and me adding focus app shortcut provider, you can see how it has just given a different level of visibility throughout the OS. And you can not only do that, but you can also customize the tint color, the image icon. You can also have custom icons, and you can also have localization. You can also include your app's name in it. So you can see the possibilities are endless. So after this, I would like to see what other people built. here is a QR link of this demo project we made. So it's a simple app, but you can see how those 3 simple intents are made. And yeah, thanks for attending the talk. Hope you all enjoyed it.